Welcome back to Making the Madness on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. It's a big day in the transfer world as Oscar Tshiebwe has announced he is leaving the West Virginia program and transferring. Um, we're going to break down all the news, what it means for West Virginia, and, as well as where do we think he'll end up. So, Sean, what first off, what does this kind of like? What is the impact for West Virginia on this?
Well, when you look at what happens with West Virginia here and the two games they played without Tshiebwe since he left the team originally and then later decided to enter the transfer portal, they played against Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. They were down by 18 at half to Oklahoma, and they were down by 19 the second half to Oklahoma State. They came back both games. They lost to Oklahoma. They won against Oklahoma State. The thing that I've noticed, though, is the ability to stretch the floor with Jalen Bridges. But when they took Bridges out and put Osaboyan in later in the game, that's when they're able to step up the defensive intensity against Oklahoma State, be able to win that game. It opens the floor up more because when you have two guys like Culver and Tshiebwe that kind of do the same thing, it's just kind of can make the offense, in place and kind of stagnant a bit. Now you can spread the floor with McBride, Sherman, and Sean McNeil, have Bridges on the perimeter also, and then let Culver do work down low. Derek Culver could be a first or second team All American with the production he's going to put up now. It's a loss for West Virginia, but they still have the pieces to make up for it.
Yeah, I definitely think West Virginia can still. I think their ceiling, and I think they'll lose games because they don't have uh, Oscar Tshiebwe because he's just a dominant force inside. At the same point, I did like what saw of Jalen Bridges playing kind of the four. I think that's something that they could potentially do going forward, and see if that's something they think could end up working. Uh, it would certainly be in their best interest if they get the offense kind of rolling with Jalen Bridges playing the four. I do think defensively it hurts them in terms of in the half court, but I could see them trying to go a little bit, play a little more up tempo, kind of like they did second half against Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. They started forcing turnovers and really got the ball going in the open court. So I think that's kind of what they'll kind of have to do in order to succeed with him out.
Yeah, Press Virginia is back with the kind of roster they have.
Yeah, they'll definitely need to continue to press. The next question is where do we think he'll be going? Because I he's definitely one of the hot commodities on the transfer portal, but there's going to be a school out there that ends up getting him. I think we're on the same page on which school that will be. So where's the pick for you?
Yeah, it's Kentucky. It seems about as obvious as it gets. I think in the next 2 to 3 days, we'll see Oscar Tshiebwe committing to Kentucky, enrolling at Kentucky. Obviously, he won't play this season, but he'll be able to be on campus, I believe. Maybe, I don't know, in COVID times, if he'll be allowed to be there during practice, but Oscar Tshiebwe, I do think, will land with Kentucky. Olivier Sarr has been up and down this season. Isaiah Jackson's gone after the year. Sarr could come back for an extra season due to the COVID extra year. Lance Ware, he's probably back, but he could go to the NBA also. There's just a lot of questions. And you see Kentucky adding guys like Sarr, Reed Travis, Nate Sestina. They haven't added someone who can actually help the way that Oscar Tshiebwe did. I mean, Oscar Tshiebwe coming into the season was seen by many to be a first or second team All American. So it's just you're adding one of the more talented big men in the country. He's an old school guy, but he looks like he could play O line for Alabama on Monday in the national championship game. He's 6'9", 270. He reminds me a lot of Udoka Azubuike, just the way he can dominate. He just needs to show more effort and be consistent, but he can be one of the better players in the country.
Yeah, I do. I also have the Kentucky pick. Uh, Now, look, they do add a couple more forwards to next year, Damian Collins most notably, but this is a team, and on the recruiting rankings, they're looking to add guards. A lot of the people they're still interested are going to be guards. And I think he'll play probably next to Damian Collins, who's their top recruit currently on the recruiting list. But he'll probably play next to him. Tshiebwe is a perfect 5-man because he's just so big and physical. I don't think we'll see Olivier Sarr come back for another year. I think he's good as gone. Lance Ware will be back, but Isaiah Jackson, I think, is also projected first rounder, so he's going to be gone. So he can come in, kind of even help, the front court, at least in practice. If he's able to practice, he'll definitely help the team overall in that aspect. I think he'll come in to Kentucky and be a solid contributor. Kentucky will definitely want to add another, interior big man, and focus a little bit on the guards and have the front court shored up for next year with Tshiebwe, with Collins, with Lance Ware. That's a really good front court.
Yeah, and this is a real difference maker for a Kentucky transfer. I know a bunch of Kentucky fans this year wanted Sarr. They wanted Matt Harms. They wanted Marcus Santos Silva. Tshiebwe is the guy that'll be a difference maker, not those three guys.
Yeah, and he'll come in, play good defense, be just a force down low. This is a good fit for Kentucky, and I think we both think he'll end up going there.
Yeah, absolutely.